Greetings. Oh, wow, that is loud. My apologies. Music just kicked in for me as well. I'm sorry about that. Usually I check that beforehand, but I guess I forgot. Now the cat's being a bit. There, off the desk now. All right, well, greetings. I'm Morgan Titian. Welcome to this stream. A little bit of a scuff start, but it's not one of my streams if it doesn't have a little bit of scuff. Am I right? Okay. Just making sure mixer is working. Music go a little bit lower. There we go. Hey, should be good. Alrighty. Well, before we get started, I did want to give a quick thank you to iCUE and Analambic for following off stream. Thank you very much. It is appreciated. I believe iCUE was off my raid on Sunday. And honestly, I'm not sure how Analambic found me, but if you're around in chat right now, feel free to let me know. Alrighty. Well, today normally is our story day, where we do long-term story games, and then we do short-term stuff in other slots. Sorry, I'm just adjusting my mic here because it keeps falling. There we go. Gotta tighten up the entire stand. Anyways, yeah, so we usually do story game, and last week, or mixture of last week and the week before, we finished off Danganronpa, the first one, Trigger Happy Havoc, which was definitely a trip. I went into it mostly blind, and yeah, it was a fun game, fun experience. Not for everyone, I know, but I definitely enjoyed it. And partway through that entire series, I got to talking with some other streamers, one of them being Virachi. I'm going to give her a quick shout out here. There we go. And you can see she was last streaming Danganronpa. So actually last night, she finished the first game as well. She was doing a bit of a speed run to catch up to me, so that we can do the second game together. As a little bit of co-op, we can share the voice acting bits, so that it's, you know, not as much strain, but also we get to have fun, you know, doing it co-op, because usually a lot of those types of games where it's just a bunch of reading is more fun when you can have fun with friends, right? So we're not starting that today because Vera is not available. She's actually out of town the rest of this week. So we are starting that next Wednesday. So I figured today we just do something to fill in the time, fill in the slot, but not start a, you know, long-term story game, just because then we'd have to interrupt it right away. Hey, Riku! Hello, hello. I'm going to give Riku a shout out. Oh, that reminds me. Riku P. I can type, I swear. I can just tab finish. Why am I not tab finishing? There we go. Riku streams as well. She's on a bit of a hiatus right now, but I don't have this set up right now. That's what reminded me. She is the lovely artist behind these three emotes. And I have to go into my settings because apparently they added a thing where you can credit your emo artist now. So I have to go in and actually do that. Figure out how to do that anyways. But yeah, she did 3 of our emotes, and they are amazing and I love them. So yeah, go give her a follow because she's a very talented artist. And Riku here saying she was watching an IRL friend play the second game recently. Seems like a fun series. Yeah, it definitely is an interesting series. Not for everybody. I enjoy it. And the other person I was talking about there, Virachi, I had to get you a more transparent version of the Nigiri sometime when I get my PC set up again. Yeah, no worries. I wasn't going to bug you about it because I knew that you're in the middle of moving, so it's not a huge rush. It's adorable anyways. I love it. Do I have that still set on my thing that I can pop up? Does not look like it. Oh, wait. There it is. It's behind my head. I still had it in here. There we go. Get a little bit of a more detailed view of the adorable art. Yeah. So yeah, very talented artist. This was a sketch. This wasn't a full piece. This was just a sketch, and it's that amazing. She's hey Serba, welcome on in. Just giving some credit to one of my emote artists here. Actually, my only emote artist, I believe. What other emotes do I have on here? Yeah, the last one was done by Lasana. But yeah, this is an amazing, amazing sketch by Riku Piku, and I love it. So I was just talking about that. I recently learned that you can credit your emote artists, and I have to set that up now. Alrighty, what was I talking about before? Oh, right, the plans. Yeah, today we are going to do a bit of an indie game. We're doing the Stanley Parable. I haven't played that game in years. And we're not playing the new game, the new version that just released, because I still got achievements to get on the old one. So I'm hoping that we can get at least some of them on stream today. And then maybe I'll play the new one in the future. And we're doing that in lieu of our normal long-term story game, because next week we are starting Danganronpa 2 with Virachi. All right. So let's see if I can time this properly, because I don't want to accidentally show my desktop. If I hit play right here, wait for it to load. I haven't actually ran this game since I last played it, which was like ages ago. There we go. And we should see pop up in the corner the achievement. What, did the thing not switch? It didn't switch. Oh no. All right. Welcome back and go outside. 2 achievements in 1. I got them just as I switched over. So that is 2 achievements that we did not have before that I just unlocked. Oh, door closed because of the wind. Yeah, I'm going to adjust some of this audio here. Okay. Yeah, we'll go full. Oh, did that save? Yes, it did. Okay. There we go. So the 2 achievements that I just got, one of them is for after you had closed the game and launched it again, you get an achievement. I didn't get that before because I only ran this game once, and I beat it in that same time that I ran it. So I do have the... can I show it on here? I cannot. I do have the achievement for beating the game. I have beat the game. I just got welcome back. I got you can't jump already, which is trying to jump and listening to the narrator. I got one that's just called achievement. I think, anyways. Oh yeah, go into the game options, go to extras, and turn achievements option on. Uh-oh. 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 Oh no. Where did it go? I lost the game. Huh? No. That's not what I wanted to do at all. Also not what I wanted to do at all. Dang it. Okay. Well, you saw my desktop. Whatever. It's got art that Riku Piku did. That is my background. Note to self, you cannot Alt-Tab out of this game. I wonder if I can change that. Oh. Yeah. Oh, no. I messed it up again. We're doing it live, I guess. There it is. Come on. Scuff. And I will say the reason why it's so scuff is because I purposely did not run the game before this so that we could get achievements on stream. Oh boy. Anyways, I'm going to lower the music just a little bit more because we want to hear primarily the game. Alrighty. Well, without further ado, oh, an achievement enabled, and that's what gives you the one of the other achievements. All right, so we are going to begin the game. Oh, the other achievement I already have is click on door 430 5 times. It actually takes a little bit longer than that. All right, I believe I can get this one as well. If I did it right. I cannot. I did not do it right. There's another one that's an impossible achievement. You actually had to edit some game files to do, and I think I edited them incorrectly. Unless I had to hit that button while I'm actually in game. Now, the one achievement I definitely cannot get today is commitment, which is play the game for an entirety of a Tuesday, which means the entirety of a Tuesday, or just have it running, which I just have to kind of let run. But I didn't want to do that yesterday because I wanted to make sure I got these achievements on stream, just because why not? Most people, when they're getting the go outside achievement, which is, I believe, don't launch the game for 5 years. Yep, it's 5 years. So after you've played the game, you have to not run it or play it at all for 5 whole years in order to get the achievement. Some people did some trickery with their computer clocks to get that achievement. I've actually not played this game in over 5 years. So I got that one legit. Game is taking forever to load. Oh, we can get to jam out to music at least. There we go. Click to skip. No. What? Oh. Should have audio now.
His desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked,
Perfect.
frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
So this game is amazing in that it actually reacts to things that you've done or do or don't do. Like if you wait here for long enough, he'll comment on it. I like how clicking sounds like a keyboard. You've only seen a few clips? Oh, well, you're in for a treat.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Yeah, you know what? I think I'll pause the music for now. I need my mouse. I'll pause it for both my audio here and for the VOD audio. Because, I mean, this game is immersive enough that we don't need the music. There we go.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Okay, we get back in. Wasn't sure if you're aware, just trying to help. Yeah, no worries. Like I said, this game is immersive enough that it's we don't need the music. So yeah, this game encourages you, or I guess it doesn't encourage, it allows you to just mess around with things. And it'll actually comment on it. I mean, that looks like a jail cell, if I'm going to be honest.
Stanley clicked on literally every single door in the office because he doesn't pick up well on cues from his environment.
I love this game so much. Like, it's not a very long game, and it's not a very, like, replayable game unless you've not played it for over 5 years.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
So this is one of the first divergent points in the game. Minor spoilers. You can either follow the narrator or not follow the narrator. We'll follow the first time.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Cabal planning. Wow, that's quite the schedule. One of my favorite clips was Pika-Me in the broom closet. Yeah. I didn't see her play this. Everyone is unique. You most of all. To do. Synergize core value expenditures. Shift global market parade. Number of slides on this slide. Charts, slides, charts and slides. Monetize free to play. Rate at which charts on the same slide depict the same information. Rate of increase in graphs per slide. Hello, Maxter. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Appreciation minute. Yeah, there's a lot of like just Easter eggs in here. It's amazing.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track. There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow. Just an empty broom closet. No
I have played it before, yes. This is the original. I actually just got 2 achievements for playing the game for a second time.
Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
And I also got the one for not playing the game for 5 years. Legit.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
I don't have to tell you shit.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. It didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
Yep. But I'm here. What you gonna do about it?
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
Really is an achievement like that, yes. Most people
Stanley was
use...
fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Yeah, most people use time shenanigans, time clock on your computer shenanigans.
You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead.
Apparently.
He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
You'd like that, wouldn't you? I can't remember if there's anything after that. Sometimes you have to wait a while before he'll speak up.
Ah, second player. It's good. You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
This script is amazing. Yeah. Can't even go backwards. Yeah, we'll continue on.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. and at last he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. "I'm dreaming!" he yelled. "This is all a dream." Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want.
That's really
I want
all
my
I want, yep.
apartment and my wife and my job.
Wait, I have a wife?
All I want is my life exactly
That's news
the
to
way
me.
it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine.
I'm not normal.
I am okay. Stanley began screaming.
I'm not screaming.
Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
And black. Yep.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And
Okay.
in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Sensible. All right.
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life.
Why is there paper everywhere? Yeah. Work be like paper everywhere. 420. Wait, that one actually accepted an input this time. Paper, paper everywhere.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
All right, chat. First one to speak up, left or right? Gotta love that stream delay. All right. Maxer says we're going right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room.
Yep.
Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
I'm totally sitting on this couch.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Imagine following instructions. So I'm guessing you want me to not do the instruction way? Do the Defiant way? Okay.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Penalty for misuse of cargo lift, $1,000. Penalty for jumping off the cargo lift, $5,000. Warning, do not jump from the cargo lift while it is in motion. Will cause death. Chat, does that mean I'm about to jump off this cargo lift? I don't think people are supposed to go on it at all. Can I go off this edge here? Yep.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
I wasn't sure if there's an invisible wall on that section, but there was not. No papers this time.
The meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room, and from then on, he would never be alone ever again.
That one's off. Had to click the 420 door. Alright, let's do the right door again.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired.
Alright, back to where we were.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
2B1. 2B3.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Are we doing it, chat? Red pill or blue pill? And this place is just like unnecessarily large and complex. Check my uptime here. Blue?
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door. All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what, let me take a stab in the dark at a new design and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Do we troll him some more? I think I want to troll him some more. Yeah, I'm trolling him some more.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here.
Yeah, he trolled me instead.
Oh, of course. A 3. Really? Maybe next time we can get you to form an actual opinion, you know? Any level of critical thinking or engagement with your surroundings. Does that sound good? Think we can do that? Yes? Wonderful. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
Stanley Parable, worldwide leaderboard. Yeah, 21.3, skip the intro sequence? Okay. I'm going to take you to get the correct or complete against others to prove your Stanley Parable career. Her friends list is empty. Only the worst 3% of players choose the blue door. 98.9% of players are more attracted than Stanley. Oof. Not 99.9? Or does great work at looking like he's losing it sometimes. Yeah. He's going a bit crazy, yeah.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up. In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game. all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
I wonder if somebody's actually played this for 4 hours. Oh, wait, I got distracted.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out, I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes. This seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Ooh, loading. What are we playing? Yes.
Well, Stanley, is this any better? At last, the one thing you've always desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do with. But is it enough? Tell me that, Stanley. Will it ever be enough? Well, I'll say this. I'm done making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house. This will go here, no, here, and then...
Want to know if it's achievement? No, it is not achievement.
What does it need? Yes, of course. And just to finish it all off, yes, it's complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy. But you've only seen it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable.
I want to go over there. Well, let me break blocks. Maybe put auto clicker or something. Can't imagine something doing that.
Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect? It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond. Diamond everything. Yes, yes, yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
Hey, I can get out here now. I want to punch tree, get wood. He couldn't even put the Minecraft music in.
Oh my, it looks like it's going to get a bit dark. Have you brought a light?
Won't even let me break any of this.
Oh, no, 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 no. This is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one. Okay, new game.
I was having fun. You just killed Minecraft. Hey.
Yes! I don't even know what this game is, but I love it. You, trapped in a glass box with no way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it.
Hey, Tinsera.
myself.
Welcome on in.
What is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay, now I'm curious. Let's go find out what the hell this is.
Oh. Window's not there. Got home early from work. I've never seen this game before. Well, this...
It's a puzzle. Critical thinking.
This is Stanley Parable. But we are now playing Portal inside of Stanley Parable.
No, actually, you know what? I think that's plenty.
What?
I really don't care much to see you stumble.
I cut him off. Screens do be a bit... Oh. I mean, like the back rooms or something. I do apologize if it's too dark on stream. I cannot control... Oh, wait, I might be able to control how dark it is. Oh, no brightness options. I suppose we have to go this way. Let's see, the only section that actually has a light. Hey, it's my office. Or it should be. I'm employee 427. Oh. That wasn't
I
me.
wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's
Really?
who I am. That is what I mean to this world.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back.
I'll be
We'll
back.
here soon.
Then you'll see.
Very soon. I can wait.
Can you really wait, though? Because I can. This game is all about the narrator, basically.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible?
I'll go
They
check.
never stopped. Surely I was mistaken. No, the orders were still missing. For now.
Oh, no one here. Turn that off. Awaiting input. Input received. I have to click the 420 door. Alright. Let's mosey on here.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Let's actually go to the boss's office because there's another achievement we can get up there.
Yet there was not a single
Tips for not
person
getting fired.
behind
Talk
the
less. Do unbelievably amazing work all the time, every day, with no expectation of promotion or recognition.
hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
It's got a dingy friggin' office. Executive bathroom. I'm not allowed in there. Like the not dingy office, but like but the stairway to get to his office is dingy.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded
Oops.
the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. and so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
8.
There we go.
Stanley simply began entering random codes into the keypad, knowing full well the sheer statistical unlikelihood that this would ever result in a correct combination. If he knew that the combo, yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck.
Have to go. I hope you have a great stream. Well, thanks for showing up there, Serba. Appreciate it. But that was, yeah, another achievement we could get there. You just keep hitting 8 until it says 8. And then that's an achievement. Won't even let me play the piano. Guess I'm going down. Man, it's loading. This game's like 7 or 10 years old or something like that.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Why would you put a light behind a pipe like that? Like, come on.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Oh, where do we go, guys? Do we go escape? Or do we go to the mind control facility? While the stream light catches up, I'm going to take a quick hydrate. Should I go? Mind control? Okay. There's a camera. First camera I've seen.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Maybe. Guess we'll see. Employee observation protocol. I can't zoom. Can't actually read that. All right.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Thank you for the posture check. Not sure if you noticed, but I did posture check.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Perhaps.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
What's down here? Just a pit for no reason? Let me go see what's up here. I'm exploring. I hit number 4. Probably have to hit buttons in sequence. Who are you? Console disabled. What if I want to enable the console? Number 5. Oh, there's a button over here. Number 3. I don't think I saw these buttons before. 1, 2. 3. Counting with Morgan. 4. Wish you could jump in this game. And 5. Did I miss a number 6 somewhere? Or maybe those buttons don't actually do anything. Alright. Mind control idle.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Do I have to, though?
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave.
Was I?
If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's
Indeed.
your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still
Dancing
playing
palm in
instead of
your
watching a
hand.
cutscene
Yeah.
because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces.
Hey, Corpse, how's it going?
Desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully?
We're playing Stanley Parable
Another
today.
Choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever up.
Everything went boom.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken.
420.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Indeed, I did.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean?
Oops.
Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books. Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Oh God, why?
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Oh yeah. Speed running the game now. Woo! Actually, I should probably try and go for the speed run.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold?
All
Stanley
kinds
thought
of
to
horrible
himself.
secrets.
Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley...
But
one
there's
of
no
them,
individuals there.
eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused
Up I go.
to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control?
Never!
It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Perhaps.
But here
Guess we'll
was the
never know.
proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that...
Sounds like if Kurtzgast worked for the BBC. I have no idea who that is.
blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go.
Let it
No longer
go,
would anyone tell
let
him
it
where to
go.
what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed.
It's an
to know.
educational YouTube channel.
It was
Okay.
perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze. upon his
Ah,
skin,
they took control
the
from me.
feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Apparently I was happy.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
The
Stanley decided to
hell?
go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay, I haven't beaten
Okay,
it properly.
I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise.
Even the elevator's moving faster.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point,
Apparently,
Stanley was
yep.
making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
And that's another one of the endings.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever.
That was the fast one?
Stanley
Yeah.
can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Later. What?
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a
Danganronpa
single
execution. Yeah, I was gonna say,
visceral instant,
it's punishment
Stanley was
time.
obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Cool. Thanks for letting me out.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
This blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to the two doors was the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout development through the core layout, though the core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. Yeah. Stanley's computer. Cool. And nature paintings. It's a museum, guys. Corridor. The pacing of this opening section was important to get right. This corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the two doors in good time. And the two doors. The set of two open doors was the very first concrete piece of the Stanley Parable's design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it, an exploration of the contradiction this room posed. Filing cabinets. Office computers. None of them awaiting input. The office. 1, 2, and 3. Button sounds. Selection of the sounds used throughout the game when buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mix of keyboard stroke and a synthesized tone. And the credits. It's Kevin Brighting as the narrator. The office. Maintenance room. An early version of the maintenance room. Cool. The photocopier. Am I going crazy? Maybe it isn't the same image that was there back there before. I don't remember how do I go back? Can you check for me? Point to the steering parallel. HD remix is to win. Greenlight. In September of 2012, we submitted the Stanley Parable to Greenlight, Valve's process of approving games for Steam. The Greenlight page had only a series of cryptic photos, which were still enough to win the community's approval. Warzone. Early in development, we designed an ending where Stanley would end up on a battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would become sentient and would wage war against the narrator. We realized shortly after starting to build it that it was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game. Plus, some people interpreted it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. Cool. 2012, thought it was older. No, it's not older than that, apparently. Narrator emails. After the second trailer we asked people to email the narrator for questions. While we had initially planned to use these in further promotional materials, we never found the perfect use for them. Here are a few selection. Dear narrator, how do you stay in shape? Sincerely, Michael the Rock Martin. I doubt you're the Rock. More office stuff. The Lounge, early version. The apartment timer. In a previous version of the choice leading to the apartment ending, a timer would give you 15 seconds to pick up the phone. Not picking up the phone would lead to a different ending. The cargo lift. This second version is functionally the same as what's in the final game, but we want it to look more like a place where cargo is actually stored. The cargo lift is always intended to offer the choice of staying on or jumping to a different path. However, after this early version, we decided we also wanted an option to bring the player falling to their death. Oh man, so many different things here. The Zending model. The Zending went through many iterations. This room represents the fourth version of the ending, and we thought it was complete, but decided to abandon and change it again shortly before launch. Game is now paused. Begin the game again. Escape menu. For a long time, we had an ending that only ended when the player restarted from the escape menu. Unfortunately, very few players realized this was what they were supposed to do, which was frustrating for everyone. Yeah, it's a big button. Zending. This screenshot depicts an early version of the ending known as the Zending, which was eventually cut and merged with another part of the game. These levers were originally part of the Zending. The player would pull a lever and the narrator would describe what color lever they pulled. Trailers. We ran 4 major teaser trailers over the course of the game's development, each meant to convey something about the spirit of the game. This is the first one, released in May 2012. It features a series of broken rooms and the voice of the narrator informing viewers that he is preparing a new version of the Stanley Parable. I'm not watching that right now. I'm barely willing to go through all these different areas here. Meeting room. Oh. Maintenance layout. The flow of hallways following the first 2 doors was important to get right, since players would play them so many times. We discussed a number of designs, but ultimately it was the simplest version that won out. More than once, the narrator just starts talking after a few minutes of silence. I guess it's understandable. Yeah. Yeah. The other entrance would be hidden depending on how you entered. To confusion ending. What does that say up there? More confusion ending. Venting from the lounge. Cool. The narrator is sus. I saw him venting. Countdown desk. One of the desks from an early version of the countdown ending. Freedom ending. This is Freedom ending as it existed in beta. Monitor room elevator. For a time, the elevator in the monitor room could go up or down, with freedom above and countdown below. We abandoned this when players found it too difficult to remember what was up and what was down, and placed two endings together instead. Countdown room, early version. I think this leads back to areas we've already covered. Game design mockup. This is the level that William, the level designer, sent Davey, the writer, as a kind of audition piece. The strength of this level got William hired to design the full game. Though much of the environment has changed, the basic layout from this mockup is still in the game. Stanley's office. From left to right, the evolution of Stanley's office over time. The first was created in November of 2011, the second in March 2012, and the third in February of 2013. I think we already did this stuff down here. Yes, we did. Yeah, super sus. Freedom ending. This was the very first incarnation of the freedom ending game's alpha. I love going through things like this in games. Office clock. Boss's office. Screens from the development to the boss's office. Makes sense. Employee lounge. Early version of the underground portion of the game. What this? Narration outtakes.
Oh, I don't know. How about they're throwing a surprise party for him for all his button pushing? Does that sound plausible to you? When Stanley came to the lift, he traveled upward to the power source at the top of the facility to end this injustice forever.
So, Kevin Brighting, the voice of the narrator, recorded dialogue for the entire game roughly 3 separate times over the 2 years of development. These are clips from early takes that were not used in the final game.
For the player to do anything in this room. Perfect example of core level
Yeah, we're back around here. Only one place left to go. I do like the design that they've got here for the museum.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
What if I don't want to be free?
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another?
Nope.
No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time...
Crunch. Really just leaving me on the blank screen? Oh yeah, a minute or two. I think, yeah, you do have to reset the game here.
A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Here's the door, just go.
The guy gets more and more impatient as the game goes on.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Trying to get the speedrun achievement. Like the last one I can get
The
today.
lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building.
Here's my office.
Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen.
Oh.
And Stanley, one of them. It
Glorious
turned
neck
monitor
cracks
in this
there.
place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that...
I'm typing.
blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as
So
sunlight
many.
streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense
I forgot
possibility
to
of
mute
the
Discord.
new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Did I beat it? No. I mean, I beat it, just not fast enough. Alright. There's a trick to getting this. It's, save loading. Thought it was yours. Some people have the Discord sound effect in their, like, their sound alerts. This about Stanley being blue or red pilled? I think so. Like, there's so many decisions you can do in the game. Okay, this is the one.
Two open doors. He entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Oh, crap. We got stuck.
Here's the door, just go.
So that hallway that I kept rolling for, which takes you directly to the two doors, is the one that you need to get this achievement, I believe. Yes, I looked it up while I was waiting.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Rush, 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 rush.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself.
Yeah, if you're wondering there, Corpse, I am trying to go for a certain achievement here. Just because I think it's like the second last achievement I can get. And the last one would be to play the game for the entirety of a Tuesday. And that means like right on midnight till the next midnight. Full 24 hours on a Tuesday.
Eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control?
Never!
It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to
Yeah,
the
you can just leave the
world?
game open.
But here was the proof. The heart of the
I just didn't want to do it
operation.
before now
Control
because there's two
labeled
achievements I
with
got at the
emotions.
start.
Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided...
The fact that specifically Tuesday's funny and not just any day, yeah. That's the whole point. Because like there's one called not starting the game or not playing the game for 5 years,
blackness.
which is also hilarious to
A
me.
rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine. Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved.
Yeah, we've heard this dialogue before. If I don't get it on this run, then that's going to be it. I'm not going to run it again. I'll do that on my own time. I don't have to put you guys through this.
But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No
Let
longer
it go,
would anyone tell him where
let
to
it
go,
go.
what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door. Stanley felt
There we go. We got it.
upon his
Speed
feet.
run.
The feeling
Woo!
of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen.
I really got to fix my tracking.
Stanley was happy.
It constantly thinks that I'm looking down with eyes closed, but I'm not. I think I've got every achievement I can get. All right, let's see if we can find some more of the endings, shall we?
A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was sublime, a work of art. What was it about this room that called so deeply and so personally to Stanley? Its grace, its subtle charm? No. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
You sure about that?
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here, it's, left.
No? Alright, guess I have to go left.
Oh, no. No, it's to the right. My mistake.
Oh, okay.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh, dear. Would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep. Okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Cool. Why is there a random truck just pointing right at me? Like... What? It's got nowhere else it can go. Like, it can't back up anywhere. The only way it can go is pull forward, and there's nothing in here for it to go. And that... Yes, because that's how walls work.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
Cool. Early into the game.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Missing memos. That's paddling.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors?
Mm-hmm.
Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
I think I want this one. Okay, they're connected. Well, guys, I'm lost.
This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from.
Are you
Why
sure?
don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Wait, we can go back?
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps. Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win!
Woo!
Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations.
You sure?
Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
All right, restarting again.
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line.
Adventure away.
How simple is that?
We have to go this way, don't we? It won't let me turn off that computer.
You see? The line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
There we go. Now I can actually talk, but I can't go on the walls and the ceiling. What's going on? I mean, we're still following the line. Um.
Wait, cut the music. Go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story.
Are you sure?
Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Yeah, I'm done looking at that fern.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No, no, no. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
420 door.
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Adventure line, huh?
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Okay. On game.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it.
Stream better not be dropping frames. Oh, it is.
Oh, no, not you again.
Alright, am I back? I'm back. I'll give it a second. Make sure that the stream on my end is caught up to where I actually am in game. Yeah, no. Basically, we just went through some impossible hallways and we found the line again.
And Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Alright, I will not acknowledge it. See ya.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Okay. I'm not going in circles.
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it, I won't do it, I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually.
Yeah, except I'm the one who's gonna die.
If you do happen to have a...
Okay. Restarted anyways.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I wonder if this is an actual playability part.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
All right, here we
he
go.
entered the... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
No, the game aborted.
Stanley, for the first time, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
I did not do such a thing.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please,
Really?
stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Who's her?
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
But who was phone? Might be my wife. I think they said that there's a timer for this. Ring, 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 ring. Banana phone. Boop, 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 boop. I guess that's not timed. Yeah, it was more than 15 seconds.
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here. Sorry, but you're in my story now.
The hell? No.
This is a very
That's
sad
creepy.
story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Alrighty. Well, I think that's about it then. I can't see any way to proceed further. Can you guys? Wonder if the narrator will actually comment on how long it's taking. I don't think he will if he hasn't commented yet.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
What if a player had a broken keyboard where their like
Look at
O
him
key
there,
didn't
pushing
work?
buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch.
Wait, I get
Now
lunch?
He's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
Are you sure?
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk,
You never got this
Stanley
ending?
dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Oh, snap.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Spend time with the boys.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
I'm going to prepare
As
dinner.
he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free.
Definitely fooling around,
Surely
not
there's an
speedrunning with
answer
you.
down some new path.
Yeah, I was just doing
Must
this.
there be?
That's the
Perhaps
speed
if
run
he
achievement
played just
specifically.
one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he
No,
always has. Nothing has
just put me back
changed.
in my
The longer he
office.
spends here, the more invested he gets. The
Let me
more
free.
he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer. That as
I'm gonna
long
hide
as he
under my
remains
desk.
here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Oh, my cat wants it. I don't think it'll let me not press the button.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see.
What's up?
Maybe this time.
Oh, drop more
And I
frames.
tried again, and Stanley pushed a button.
Oh, I'm back. I'm back. Woohoo! No BGM because I had turned that off earlier, but that'll be fine for now. Let's try to see the end of this. I don't know when you guys cut out,
And I tried again.
but
And Stanley pushed
I'm
back.
stuck in my office,
And
and yeah, I think that's just I die. So that was the apartment ending. But yeah, like I had said in text on the stream here, I was thinking of ending the stream anyways when my internet decided to go and die. Just when you press the key to be at work. Oh, okay. So yeah, pressing the key to be at work is right. I paused right after it. So we're all good. All right. Yeah. So yeah, that was Stanley Parable. We got, I think, the majority of the endings. It's not a very long game. And we got most of the achievements. The only two I am missing are the one that I have to play the game for the entirety of a Tuesday, and also the unachievable, which I had to do some game file shenanigans to actually do. So that will be something I could do on the side. Maybe I'll pick up the new Stanley Parable, and we can play that again sometime. That should be fun. Yes, Changeling Raid. Thank you for doing that for me. Saves me from having to type it out myself. Stream having issues. All right. So I see that one of my friends is still streaming, and I rarely get to raid her. She's been going for about 3 hours now, and she's in a collab. But we're going to go raid her anyways. And that would be Jamie Lasana. Blink. Start up the raid. So yeah, she is one of my mods. I am one of hers. And she also did the Zathy Hug emote. So she's a lovely streamer as well. She usually plays comfy games, if not a little bit chaotic. So I think you guys will enjoy it. Take us to the ending stream. So we actually have some BGM. Hopefully I'm not... Oh, I am dropping right at the end. Well, for the purposes of the VOD, I hope everybody had a great day. Enjoy the rest of your week. My next stream will be tomorrow. I'm not sure exactly what we'll be playing yet, but we'll come up with something. We always do. You guys go have fun with Jamie, and I will see you guys later. Bye.